wonderful week where you volunteer here and get to take part in lots of different activities to help support the chimps. So you may spend time in the kitchen helping to prepare their meals and working with some of the volunteers there. You may be working in the enrichment program activities, creating treat enrichment puzzles and different games to help stimulate their brain. What else have we done? We also got to participate in celebrations. Those don't always happen, but I came at the right week and we got to help with setup for that, and we also got to observe that. We also just get to observe sometimes the staff doing their amazing work. They're very knowledgeable of the chimpanzees and each of the villas and each one individually. And so they just filled us up with lots of information of the chimpanzees, and we got to watch them have dinner one night. So it's just a vast majority of wonderful experiences. We also, on this beautiful property where the chimps live, got to help with some of the trails. We didn't do any trail clearing this time, but we did stain some of the benches, nature benches that people have put in memory of or in honor of loved ones around the property. So it's really been a gift to be here and be a part of this wonderful community. So this was kind of a sweet story. Catherine, our wonderful volunteer coordinator, who's been kind of our point of contact through this experience, had a really magical story as well that we got to hear about during our orientation. And I think it just speaks to just the spirit of this place. I had this National Park Service magazine, and I get it about quarterly. And so at the end of last summer, beginning of fall, I had received my publication, and I always enjoy looking through it, and I always find something that inspires me to travel. And that particular one, I read about Shenandoah, which wasn't that far for us from Asheville, North Carolina. So we planned a trip to go to Shenandoah National Park from that magazine, and I was about to go recycle it, and I just literally heard this inner voice that said, "You're not done with that magazine yet." So I threw it in my home inbox just because I didn't have time to flip through it again. And I probably walked by that inbox maybe 5 or 6 more times, went to grab the magazine to recycle it, and every time I would go to recycle it, I would hear that same voice, "You're not done with that magazine yet." So finally, I had a weekend to myself, and I had some nice alone time, and I sat down to finally revisit the magazine that I thought I was done with. And the first thing I flipped to, the first page, had this advertisement for Project Chimps at the bottom. And so I immediately was like, what, a chimpanzee sanctuary in Georgia? And so I was curious, I Googled right away, how far is it from me? 2.5 hours, that's so close, I could even do this as a day trip. I get on the website and I start looking, and it had this amazing volunteercation, and right away I knew, I was like, that's what I want to do, I want to go. And so anyway, that's kind of, I sent in my application, I started saving for this, and now I'm here, so it's kind of a little dream come true. I was very fortunate to get to volunteer with so many amazing people, first of all. So, of course, the chimps themselves are amazing too. So it's hard to pick. I mean, it just really has been, our group bonded so closely from day one that we're volunteering together. And just we kept saying over and over at the end of the day, like, can you believe what we got to do today? Like, this was just so magical. Like, do you believe the chimps that we got to witness and observe? And it was just so magical. So I also got to stay in the Airbnb that's here on the property in the cabin. And so I was also just really fortunate in the evenings to sit outside and just hear them and listen to their sounds. And I felt like I'm 2.5 hours away from home, but I felt like I was in Africa. I felt like I was in a completely different place, far from here, from what I know. And that was truly a gift. So this has been an extraordinary experience. This definitely was far greater than anything I think I could have ever imagined, because I think they do a really good job preparing you to come, because this isn't a zoo. Like, the chimpanzees aren't there to entertain us. We're there to serve them. being willing to jump in. I think that it's obvious how hard everybody works here. So coming with that helping spirit and just staying open to the experiences and opening yourself up to the love and the magic, because I do believe that exists here at Project Chimps.